Kaul. Yes, Kaul.
Call.
Kaul. How are you today?
I'm on top of the world.
On top of the world, looking down on creation.
Yes, and the only explanation.
I can find. You know that song.
Yeah, I do. It's a lovely one.
Oh, I think that's a 60s song, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Amazing. This all this enlightenment stuff and consciousness and purpose and passion and all this has been going on since day one, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So those of you who don't know what the Self-Achievement Network is, we are an opportunity, period. That's it. An opportunity to support people in either discovering their passion, sharing their passion, or evolving their passion. And very simply, a couple of years ago, this guy had a back injury after doing workshops and seminars, live seminars all over the world. And all of a sudden, I can't stand, I can't walk. And I came up with this thing called the Self-Achievement Network, and I condensed all my material down to a download. Actually, this is called Life Plan. And so that is the people that don't know what their purpose is. And actually, Saloni and I have a very common passion.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yes, we're going to talk about that in just a moment. This is Ikigai. This means life purpose, yes?
Yes.
This
So
is
it's a Japanese word.
Japanese, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I heard this word before, but then you don't hear it for a while, and it kind of goes away. But yeah, so anyway, so this program is called Life Plan for people to discover their passion, and this show that I created is called Person Behind the Passion, and that is for people to be nominated by other members of our network to come and share about their passion.
Awesome.
So that's the share part, and then the evolve passion part of it is that we're like we're a hub. Okay, so the Self-Achievement Network is there's a main group, and there's a bunch of smaller little groups around us that are all connected like a hub, and people can go there and they can go live, they can post things and share things and talk about their purpose and products and all that stuff. But this particular group right here is, I call it the coveted space. It's holy territory where we do things like this to give people the opportunity to introduce themselves to the members of our group, or our network. So anyway, thank you, Saloni, for accepting the nomination for Person Behind the Passion from Durga.
That's right.
Durga. How do I pronounce her last name?
You
Yeah.
just call it Durga. I think that will be fine.
Mamedipali. Mamedipali. That sounds Italiane.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's Indian, yes?
Indian, yes.
Yeah. And you're right now, you are somewhere in India, yeah?
Yes. So I am in the almost in the capital region. So the Delhi NCR, which is the capital of India, I'm in that region.
Okay, so that's more like in the center, yes?
Yeah, you can call it the north, not really the center. It's North India.
Okay. All right, great. And I'm in Chicago. I'm on the west side of Chicago, the deep west side. And so, yeah, so today we're going to ask Saloni to tell us her story about how she became interested in this whole supporting people in discovering their life purpose. And I think that that's such a great topic and such a humongous, like, honorable thing to do, because gosh, what is life without a purpose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us how that all came about and why you chose that.
So, my even before, when I started looking at purpose as a way of exploring even my own identity, I would say that when I started my career, basically there were these three big transitions. Joining my dad's business and being there for quite a significant period, getting exposed to different business verticals, and then from there moving on to a period where I was working with large multinational and traditionally managed Indian companies, I picked up business skills. I picked up, but my main focus was always human resources. And
Hmm.
what always enamored me about the HR role was the opportunity to actually help support businesses by helping them with people. So, uh, not just getting them the right people, but also the nurturing, the development, and helping people, achieve goals and helping them, align themselves with the organization's vision. And so this was like pretty business, business, business. And then the third phase came when I started to kind of work on what I really wanted to do, which is set up my own consulting business.
Hmm.
All this while, again, the thing was that what I do best is help organizations. But then I also felt that I also do a lot of work in a one-to-one in the let's say in the retail space where I'm working with people, individuals who are looking for something which even they're not clear about, or they're looking at things which they know that that's where they want to go, but they don't know how to reach there.
Hmm.
Working in this space, I was also very clear as to where I want to go. I want to coach, I want to mentor people, I want to train, and I want to, offer human resource interventions and consulting programs to organizations who want to kind of just revamp their human resource practices. And by doing that, they want to really impact the way their business is, moving in the direction of their vision. So, and since all of this seemed so right, and then COVID happened. And when COVID happened, we all know, we all went through this great shift in understanding what do you do now? Because now you're at home, and what do you do with yourself, and what do you do for a living? And while I'm fortunate that, my consulting clients kind of continued and things are pretty well. But what it just opened up for me was opportunities to do stuff and learn things like going online, which I doing webinars, which I had never done before. So whether it was a domestic audience or an international audience, I started to do stuff which I had not done before. So definitely it opened up things for me. And I was looking at what is it that I really want to be known as. Because if I look at my organization, my own industry, my company, which is called It's People, you know, um, it's doing several things, uh, in the space of people. That's why the brand is It's People. But if I look at myself, what do I enjoy doing most, and what do I want to be known for? And that's where I started to work upon my own identity. So try to
Hmm.
work on what is it that really inspires me. And if there was only one thing that I want to do, what would that one thing be, which would still fit in with the scheme of things that I offer under my house, under my business firm. And I worked on that, and then this came to me. This just came up to me that this is really, because I've been doing this. It's not really clear. It's not come out as clear, as transparent to me ever before than now. So
Hmm.
hence, so I was looking at, I'm looking at helping, inspiring, enabling people to reach their own potential. I'm looking at, igniting passion. I'm looking at discovery, helping them to discover their own purpose. But I don't stop there. I also help them get on with the actions which they need to take on so that they're able to then live up to their purpose. Just knowing your purpose or not knowing your purpose doesn't serve any purpose. I think I confused everyone. But
It's,
once you do,
it's true. I mean, exactly. I mean, it's the action part, right?
yeah, it's the action part. And if you don't get your actions, then what was the purpose of then having a purpose if you're not, living up to it? And purpose is really something which is giving you meaning, which is giving you satisfaction, which is all about the joy that you experience. Because when you wake up, and that's really what Ikigai is, that you wake up every morning, and because of that reason, and that's your reason, that's your life's purpose. So
Hmm.
yes, so this is how it happened. And um, and and of course now we're working on not just doing workshops and enabling people to discover their passion or their purpose, and following the Ikigai model, but also now working on the implementation part, because like I said, knowing one thing and then working on one thing are two different things. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Wow. That's a great journey. It actually is the opposite of my journey because I found my purpose first, and then I had to, put it into practice. Whereas you were working in HR. I mean, and throughout my career, I have met so many HR people, and I have like this, I don't know what to call it. It's like I have this, like I love HR people because, yeah, because it's like they're always wanting to like bring the people up to whatever, if it's a skill or
Yeah,
whatever.
motivation, inspiration, the feel good thing, feel good,
Yeah.
and celebration, so many things.
So that's very cool. That's a great story. So you worked in a lot of the multinationals, huh?
That's right.
Wow.
I last worked with the Dell EMC, and I was there for close to 5 years. I worked for Itpreneurs, that's a European firm. Then I worked with TCS, Tata Infotech. These were all Indian and, of course, multinational organizations.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly in the IT space. Uh, but before that, I also worked in manufacturing. And then when with my father, I was working for many different, so management consulting, people consulting, trainings. I was doing that with him. Clothing retail, clothing distribution, logistics. So quite a bit. IT education, you name it.
You've been around the block a couple of times, right?
So I guess my first decade was certainly something that gave me a lot to learn, and yet I knew this is not what I wanted to continue with, and that's how I moved into something which was closer to my heart, which was moving into the human resource industry, the function, to really understand how organizations operate, to really get to know how what are the great practices which make an organization, and if you don't get it right, you know you can also break the organization.
Mhm.
Uh, so getting an understanding, I was very clear that I need to know what are the great things out there and keep upping my knowledge base. And then when I feel that yes, I this is the time I want to go back to consulting, that's when I do it.
Mhm. Wow. That's
Yeah.
an amazing story. So this whole helping people or supporting people to find their life purpose, you use the word, I can't pronounce it.
Guy.
On the scrolling on the bottom there.
So you can say icky
Icky
guy.
guy, icky guy, icky,
The
like icky
icky guy.
guy.
The icky guy.
This is from which culture?
This is from Japan.
Ah, okay, Japanese.
Yes.
There's some smart people over there.
Yeah, and interestingly, why this kind of shot up into the limelight was because these were people who were, really living up to, their age, as in, they were going beyond 100 years of age. And there's this island called Okinawa, and the people out there are all, more than centenarians. And then many studies have been conducted to find out what is it really that these people do that, they are able to live that long. And this is what is so this was what came out of it, that these are people who have an ikigai, they have a purpose, and that is what drives them. So the ikigai could be as simple as, I want to feed my family. So a fisherman wants to feed his family, so he goes out to fish, and that's his ikigai, that's his life purpose,
Hmm.
as simple as that. And another one, another grand lady, great grandmother, for her, the ikigai was to just hold her great granddaughter in her arms every morning, and that is what she was looking at. So this is what I wake up to, or this is what I want to wake up to.
Hmm.
These could be things that are existing, or these could be things that you wish to create for yourself if they are not already there. So somehow this philosophy also kind of got a little westernized in the process, because we didn't really have a professional or a commercial angle to it so far. So it's like, if this is ikigai, then you have a meaning, and that's what you do for a living. But
Hmm.
when you look at the westernized model of ikigai, that more or less talks about that what is it that you are passionate about, what do you love doing, and then what are the skills that you are great at. So it's a kind of a model evolved, which kind of helped people to really identify that if that's what they love doing and that's what they're good at, then what is it that the world needs. that you could possibly, give to them because you love it and you also are good at it.
Yeah.
So these options started to come up, and of course, if you are great at something and people are willing to pay you for it, right? And that's also something that the world needs. So that kind of becomes your vocation. So you have a profession, you have a vocation, you also have a mission, and then you also have a passion. And when you bring all of these four together, that's your life purpose. So it's very simple if I were to just speak it out in four sentences. But yes, it's difficult to get to it if you're not very high on your own, clarity about yourself. If self awareness is not there, and people are not sure what they really want to do. So you really have to like break it up into step one, two, three, four, five, and then kind of lead them into that space where they can probably see the dots connecting, which apparently they can't, even though it's just before them. And then they'll say, okay, this is what I am doing. I said, okay, that means you're actually very close to living your ikigai, because these are some things you are already doing. It's just that you didn't know it was, your
Mm,
ikigai, your purpose.
mm,
And but then also comes a point. So I'm not like just referring to one model. I'm also looking at, how do you live a wholesome life? There's so many aspects to life, and you really do have a spiritual aspect, or you have a financial aspect, you have your own relationship aspect. There's so many things to life. So if you are looking for some missing thing, right, you ask people, what is it that you're missing out on? So those exercises can help you evolve into really identifying what is it that you're missing on, you
mm.
know, and what is that elusive piece, out of that whole wheel of life. What's missing, or what's not as good as you would like it to be, and then let's work on it.
That's
Then
great.
that's where coaching starts to come in.
We just formed a partnership. This is all the things that I've been doing for 25 years.
Yes,
And
so
so
and I heard you speak. I was like, okay, yeah, this is what I do.
this
Same
is
thing.
and so okay, so I know what it feels like for me when I see people go through these little exercises and all of a sudden they have like this epiphany of, oh, that's my life purpose. So describe that feeling when you see this, when you see people experience that.
Wonderful. Yes, it is. It is a wonderful feeling. And I was coaching this gentleman. He's like more than 70 years of age. And, and so he messaged me and he said, I really want to have you as my mentor, as my coach for the rest of my life. I don't know how many years I still have, but then that's really what I want, because you really helped me, make my choices very clear. I really know which areas I want to go into. And
Hmm.
nothing is much, I mean, that was such a top of the world feeling for me when people come back and say that this is the difference I've made in their lives. So I mean, of course and it's nice to get acknowledged for it. So people who are differing between, should I do this, should I not, or they have something but they're not sure. So they don't have somebody who they can kind of bounce off the idea with. And then when, because of my professional and entrepreneurial experience, I just get it when I mean, I like anybody who comes to me, I get it, because I've seen both sides of you know
Hmm.
the coin, so to
Yeah.
speak. And I can tell them because I have all experienced it myself. And that's what I tell them, that this is what I did. And but you need to see whether this will work for you or not. And of course, that's when we are mentoring. But when we are coaching, we are more or less looking at helping the person arrive at what options he believes that are
Hmm.
going to work out for him, so that he can like maybe start addressing the challenges he's facing, or the problems that he is facing, but he is either just brushing them under the carpet, or he now thinks that he is uh, in a space where he can open up and share more and talk more about it. So it takes a while, but it's very important that the person takes accountability and asserts that this is what I want. Because sometimes people don't know what they want,
Hmm.
and where you take longer to help them to first identify what is it that they are seeking. And
Hmm.
so many of these tools, and of course, like an Ikigai is just one of them. But when you believe that you are there to make a difference in someone's life, and the person gets it, some people don't get it, but when he gets it, it's an all-time high for a coach. I'm sure you have experienced this so many times yourself.
Yeah, I have. And when I actually went from doing personal development to professional development, and then I was doing them both together, there
Yeah.
are so many parallels between the professional development. So in an organization, so example, talk about this. So there's a department, and there are certain skills required for a certain
Role of our.
role in that. So then they need to have some sort of training, and that's called talent development. And so how does that parallel with finding your purpose?
Right. So, interestingly, I heard this, I've read this so many times that, if you are in a job that you love doing, then the role is, it's not like working. It's not like work. It doesn't feel like work because you love doing.
Mhm.
And so is it important for you to, so it is important for you to get into a role that you love doing. And let's just look at the Ikigai model, or let's say the purpose model. Um, you have to be in the space where you love doing certain things. And so it could be football. For example, my son, he is a football, freak, and he lives, he drinks, he breathes football. And he wanted to actually do a degree in football. And I said, is that even possible? At least not in India. So he found that yes, it is possible. For that, I need to go to the UK. And I said, okay, I think you can do an Indian degree, and then we'll look at it. I said, but don't stop your football, passion. Let that go. But then let's get a degree here because that's what I can afford right now.
Right.
And then, as fate would have it, he continued. He got a part-time job, and he was working as a football coach, working with school students. So he was living his passion, and he
Mm,
was enjoying it. And all this while, he's actually studying in the university to get his graduation degree. And then it's the time for him to do his masters. So guess what? So we decided, okay, do you? I want to do a master's in business administration, an MBA. So guess what would be his specialization? What do you think he did or he's doing?
I'm thinking football, but I mean, I don't know.
So it's very close, right? So you don't have an MBA in football, but you do have an MBA in sports management.
Ah, okay.
So imagine now you are developing skills in the domain, in the industry, because you love what you do. I mean, that's the area that you want to be. You don't know, he doesn't want to be in any other industry. He wants to be in that sports industry.
Yeah.
And so he is building skills. He is playing football. Even right now, he's in a football match because that's what he loves to do. So he is building his skills. He's having a ball of a time, literally, and that's really what anybody's life purpose should look like. You enjoy what you do, you're great at it, and then the world also needs people like you, and they're ready to pay you for it.
Mm-hmm.
Just such a perfect, combination of things that you don't even have to think about how life will look like, because that's an awesome life, because you get to do what you love doing every
Yeah,
single day.
it's amazing. I love that. It just reminded me of when I was younger, and I've always sort of been an entrepreneur. I did work for a few companies, but mostly I was entrepreneur. And I was listening to one of those motivational tapes many years ago, and the guy's like, get a piece of paper, write down what you love doing, what are you good at, how can you make money at it, and this and that, and then figure it out. So I made my list on my piece of paper, all the things that I love to do and what I was good at, and however whatever. And then what it came down to was that I really loved detailing my car. Like, I wanted the thing to be shiny and clean and all the spots and everything and perfect. And when I got done doing that, I felt really proud. And I thought, wow, if I could do that for other people, that would be amazing. So I did. I started this company, seriously. And it was my purpose and my passion. My purpose was to make the person's car brand new. as new as I could make it, right? So
Very
that
good.
I would look at it and go, "Oh, my car," you know. And so I many years ago, right? I had this car, this little Toyota,
Mhm.
and it was always spotless, right?
Was it red by any chance?
Actually, it was black.
Okay. I
If I
had a
could have had a red car, I would have. Yes, absolutely. But it was black, and black cars are much different. I mean, because they show everything, right? Every little spot, every detail. So I made this thing perfect, and then I went to the store and I bought the vacuum cleaner, all the cleaning supplies, the brushes, and all this stuff, and I put it in the back because it was a hatchback.
Mm,
Then I went to the printer and I had a card made up. It was called Auto Luster.
wow.
And then I went to the neighborhoods where people were affluent.
Hmm.
I put my shirt, my tie, my jacket, my slacks, knock on the door, and I would say, "Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. My name's Dominic, and my company is Autoluster, and I detail your car in your driveway while you watch."
Oh my
And
God.
I made so much money. It was ridiculous.
I think you were helping people. Actually, I mean, they've been dreaming of stuff, and you just walked in and offered it right at the doorstep. I mean, this is
Exactly.
true. Wonderful.
They were like, "You do it right here," and so the cool part was I used their water,
And their power.
their power, and they got to watch. They would come out and talk. The wife would bring me a sandwich.
That's nice.
That's great, and I loved doing that for a long time until my fingers were this long when I started, and then they were like this long.
And then you do them back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to grow them back because it's just so much. It was a lot of work, but that's where sometimes I think what you're doing is amazing because if somebody has a lot of purpose of just holding their grandchild, that's good enough. I mean, that's because that's their thing, right? It makes them.
Yeah, something which gets you out of bed. Otherwise, you could just stay in bed the whole day, right? And so, why do people get out of bed? Because they need to make a living, earn a living. They need to, buy stuff, right? And
Mm,
then go to a job, or they need to work somewhere, or do it themselves. Um, and then what they do matters. So if we just could go in reverse, why do people get out of bed? Why do
mm,
you get out of bed? What do you, so you're looking forward to something. You're looking forward to, oh, I have this discussion that's happening. Oh, I need to make sure that the instrument that I developed, we're preparing an emotional intelligence instrument for school children, right? And I have to do a quality testing now before I kind of email it to the client. And I'm really looking forward to it because I'm going to do it after we are finished with this. So,
mhm,
so you are excited about things that you enjoy because either they are things that you love doing or they're things that are helping you build up your skill set. Something that is sparking your creativity. Something that makes you feel challenged and stretched. Because if you're just doing what you do normally, and you're not feeling as if you have really lived well, or you're not really stretched well,
mm,
uh, then you haven't lived your potential,
yeah.
and that's the life that is wasted. So go do it, and do it better, and do it more, and do it wide, and all directions,
Hmm.
for you to enjoy that, for you to feel that, oh my god, I didn't know I could do this.
Yes.
I'm sure if there are people listening in, they would have experienced this emotion sometime or the other in their lives because they attempted to do something and they felt so good doing it because they didn't think they could have done it. And that's really, the spark. That's something which is causing you to feel that really, height of emotions because they didn't imagine that they could ever do it.
Hmm.
Like I can imagine I would be, a part of a car rally. I i just jumped at the opportunity and I said, we're doing it. And I just found two more friends and then we went for this car rally, about 5 6 hours drive, 4 5 hours drive. So it was fun and it was one aspect of your life that you really wanted to, experience.
Mm, mhm.
So yeah, so you were talking about experiences the other day. So yeah, so just don't limit yourself.
Absolutely. And I think that, I mean, this is a humongous topic, and we could talk, you and I am sure we could talk for months.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I learned is like, so before that I got engaged into my purpose. I mean, it took me, I thought all the things that, like I told you earlier, I wanted to be an audio engineer, which I thought was going to give me fulfillment, and
Hmm.
realizing that it really didn't. I mean, that was a fun thing to do, but it really wasn't giving me fulfillment. And for other people, I'm sure it probably did.
Yeah.
They were doing that type of mixing and stuff, but it just didn't for me. I thought I wanted to do that, but then once I got into my purpose and began to look at it, and then began to engage with it, then I had an experience, which
Yeah.
was, whoa, this is what my is giving me meaning, making a contribution, and I learned like that there's three things that human beings want. They want to be loved and in love. They want to be included, and they want to do something with their life that gives them meaning. And once those three little things are there, it's like a rocket ship, you know? So
Yes.
that you've seen it. And it gives people a mission. And I say consistency is one of the biggest things. Clarity first, consistency. So continuing to make little progress every single day to keep that, moving and expanding my self-esteem and all the other stuff. Yeah, it's all good stuff. That's great. So what do you do when you're not doing all that? I mean, you're in the kitchen stirring soup, or what do you do?
So I am not much of a cook, but yeah, now for the past few months I've been cooking. Uh,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and yeah, so I believe that if you should eat um, uh, enough, right? You should not live to eat, but you should eat to live. So, and then you don't need to do too many complex things. It could just be two things, and that is a simple dinner or lunch. But yes, if you are out and you want to try some of these cuisines, then yeah, enjoy, go out and eat variety. But otherwise, keep your whatever you do or whatever you eat, keep it simple, because finally you are pushing your body to, the body is going to take some effort to digest whatever you've eaten. So I guess we should eat a limit.
Yeah, got to eat the healthy stuff. And I tell you, when I was younger, I didn't eat healthy. I didn't really realize that, you've heard the story, the saying, you are what you eat.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola
Yes,
and
or what you think?
you are what you think, all that stuff. It really does apply, and I think everybody goes through, their journey, and they slowly, refine. That's what I've learned is refinement, 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 so that, I don't go way over here once in a while. I mean, I can't even remember the last time I had a Coca-Cola, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So that's wonderful. So you were working in corporate. You must have traveled quite a bit then. Have you traveled around?
Yeah, I've traveled quite a bit. So within the country, and I've been to Singapore several times for work, Thailand. I've worked with people from different countries and cultures. So whether it's UK, Dubai, whether it's Korea or Hong Kong. So when I look at my entire 30 years plus, I have worked with lots of nationalities, even Japanese, Australians, Taiwan's,
Yeah.
Taiwanese people, yeah. So yeah, so I'm lucky.
East in Asia,
Mm.
Oceania.
Yes, yes. And
This
that reminds me, I have to send a cross-cultural proposal.
mm, great. I've only been to Australia. I mean, I was in Tokyo Airport once for like 4 hours. That's as far as I got into the East but yeah, that's amazing. Wow.
So I haven't been to all these countries. I've traveled to a couple of them, but then I have these expats who come into India, and I work with corporate clients in either cross-cultural programs or even when we were running I mean, part of my dad's business, and I was working with these people for importing technologies and helping our Indian customers, buy technologies, buy these know-how, the transfer, and then set up establishments or rather factories in India so
Wow.
that they would manufacture here and then sell them back. So a buyback arrangement, so to speak.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
You impress. You impress all over the place. So okay, so you're there in the I can't remember where you said exactly, but you're there in India. You didn't grow up where you're at right now. Where did you grow up and talk about your childhood a little bit?
so you've heard of Kashmir?
Yes.
Yes. So I was born in Kashmir, and my mother traveled to Kashmir so that I could be born in my native land because I belong to Kashmir. And then, of course, from there I went to Goa, and then I think to Bombay, and then to Delhi, which where we finally settled. So those initial years were probably, you know, just the first 2 3 years. I don't have too many memories. But then in Delhi, we were always in Delhi after that. And then I got educated partly in Delhi. Then I went to Dehradun. It's known for its boarding, schooling. So I was there for a couple of years, and I came back, and then I finished my schooling, and then I did my university degree from Delhi University, uh, BSc honors in home science. Followed it up with an IT diploma from NIIT, and then did my human resource, and then did so many other certifications that I have lost count of. It's I just kept adding because I love learning, and even now I enjoy attending programs. So these days I'm attending a program on network marketing. And Dominic, it starts at 6 a.m. in the morning. And yeah, and it's like a 2 hour thing that we do every day. And
Yeah.
I'm learning why because I have started a separate vertical
Sure.
for a new business vertical for network marketing. So I already want to learn about what are the best practices, and so you become more aware. So when you are aware, then you can do better with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. That's great. So you were up this morning at 6 or
Yeah,
earlier, of course.
earlier,
Now it's
earlier
10, it's 11 p.m. there now. 11.
past. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's time for your sleep, girl.
Yeah, I think another 2 hours.
2 more hours. You have homework.
Yes, I have homework.
Okay. Well, you could sit there with your book and fall asleep. Oh, that's great. Have you been to the States?
I haven't come to the States yet. I've been to Canada. Yeah, I've
Please
not.
come in the summertime and come to Chicago. I'll give you an entire tour of the city. We'll spend the whole day, show you that, take you on the architectural tour, which is amazing. And yeah, so you'll be my guest for the day. That'd be great fun.
Yes, thank you so much. I'll
Yeah.
definitely consider it.
Well, okay. So, all right. You know you have to go study. I'm going to ask you my favorite question, which is if everybody on the planet, right, we have our network marketing is in place and we've built this, and everybody is watching your interview right now, and you have the undivided attention of humanity. So they're
Mhm.
all like, tell us, Saloni, give us something, please, that we can use to take back, and like what would you want to say to humanity simply?
I would say when you wake up in the morning, take a deep breath, and yes, that's right, and pay gratitude. Start your day with gratitude because there are many people out there who don't have what you have, and when you start your day on that humble note, you derive so much power. That's your first your first activity of the day, to smile and pay gratitude, and then go on to write down Very briefly, how you want your day to go. Just imagine, just set your intention, how you want your day to go, and visualize it while you are sitting there with your eyes closed as to how your day is going to go. So just do a daily morning routine,
Mm-hmm.
and then step out and do another 10-15 minutes of some kind of physical exercise,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of gives you energy. So just do these three things in the morning. Take about 30 minutes to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and do it consistently
Each day.
each day.
Yeah.
And then
Beautiful.
come back and tell me after a month.
Yeah, I think that it would make a big difference, and it's such a easy, simple thing to do. Makes a big difference.
Yes.
Wow.
It will be the start of making a habit which will make you healthy, wiser, at peace, and more accomplished.
Mm. Simple.
Yeah.
Great words. Okay, I'm starting. Actually, I have my morning routine already. It
Okay.
does include exercise. It's drinking a cup of hot tea, hot lemon water,
Mhm.
a little exercise, and I don't write down my plan to set my intention because I have it all on my computer. So it's all completely organized. I open it up and I can see exactly what I've got to do.
Which is perfect, because what you want to do, if it is visible and it's in front of you all the time, then you will never miss it.
Hmm.
It's important to keep your focus in one place because you can do a great deal more in that area that you've chosen to focus on.
Hmm.
It should be always in front of you.
Yeah, it's so simple. It really is. And I see people like I will use an analogy. Like, you ever see people in the supermarket with their cart and they don't have a list?
Yeah.
This.
They are not going shopping, they are being shopped.
They're being shopped. That's exactly right. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, I love that. That's great. Wow. You are so amazing. You have so many gifts. You like you're happy. I love this. You're doing what you love to do. You're supporting people and their growth. You're generous, you're kind, you have wisdom oozing out of your, yeah, everywhere. Wow. Great stuff. Well, okay, I will let you go. I would like to talk with you offline because I want to invite you back. And there's so much that we could do together. This, just yes, just say yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
We're in. All
Good.
right. Well,
Right.
thank you so much. And thank you to Durga for the nomination, for nominating Saloni.
Yeah. Thank you,
Is she
Durga.
amazing or what? Come on.
Yeah, I do need to thank Durga for nominating me, and you're such a sweet person that if you hadn't nominated, I don't know whether I would get to actually meet Dominic. So thank you,
You're
and
very welcome. It's a pleasure.
yeah,
All
thank you,
right.
Dominic. It was wonderful. It was an amazing session speaking to you, and I know we'll do more of this. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm gonna hang up right now, and I just want to say we can talk to everyone out there who is watching and listening. Thank you for joining us here in the Self Achievement Network. Remember always to stay inspired and to have fun. We'll see you guys later.